the Flourish blog. We are continuing our series on common concerns for labor and birth. And so today we're going to talk about something that some people have wrote in that they're concerned, and that's what if dad can't handle labor? What if he is squeamish, or he gets freaked out and passes out, or something like that happens? So some of the things that we can do to ease your mind about that, and ways that we can help dad if that is something that you are worried about.
Right. So one of the very first things we like to tell our couples is that it's really important to take a good childbirth education class. And I'm not talking about the kinds where some of them is just like, oh, well, this is what we do and this is what we do at this part of labor. We're talking like a really good one where we discuss this is what this part of labor is like, and this is what you can expect, and dad, this is how you can help mom. We actually, not to plug it, but we have a great childbirth educator here on the Flourish team, and she has an amazing class, and she goes through everything like that. And so having that class really helps prepare dad before any labor starts. He can tuck it in the back of his mind, okay, this is normal and this is what I can expect, and she might say these things, or she might make these sounds, or any of those things to kind of help alleviate that stress. So from coming out of the gate, that's one of the really important things to start with.
And there's such a wide range of normal for how a mom that's coping well with labor might act, and noises she might make that are not normal noises for us on a regular basis.
No.
So knowing that that noise she's making is actually a good noise, not a scary noise, can just start out making dad feel a lot better when those things do happen.
Right. So another thing that, sorry about that. So another thing that we like to tell our couples is that a lot of times dads pick up on the vibes in the room.
Yeah, and so of course we always say hire a doula, because if you are, when dad is wanting to be at the birth, he's really wanting to experience the birth emotionally. He wants to be there to support mom as well, but it's really hard for dad, who doesn't do this all the time, he took that childbirth education class, he knows what can be normal, but it hasn't come natural to him because he doesn't do it all the time. Whereas a doula sees moms in labor over and over and over again, and so those noises and what to do to help at certain parts, it comes super naturally. So that's where we can take what dad learned in childbirth education and what we know as doulas, and it really make the perfect team. So we can remind dad of those things. So we can pick up on how he's feeling. So we'll be looking at dad, and if we're like, oh, dad's looking a little freaked out right now, we can pull him to the side, and we can, because we've already built this relationship beforehand, be like, is everything okay? We just want to check in. Is there something that you're concerned about? And he can share with us what might be making him nervous, and then we can, ease his mind.
Can just reassure him, oh, like, this is great.
That sound is great. That bit of blood, that's great. It means there's progress. And so that can ease his mind, because sometimes he might learn that in childbirth education, but then when he's actually in that moment and those emotions are running high, it's easy for them to forget those things. And so having that reminder can really help him. And also, when you hire a doctor or a midwife, and then you also have a doula, dad really picks up on the energy in the room, like you said. So even if he's feeling a little nervous, because it's a lot to watch, mom go through whatever she's going through, if the doula is acting like everything's great, or even excited about some of the things that might be making him nervous, and the doctor or midwife is acting like everything's going well, he can pick up on that and be like, okay, well, if they're not worried,
then I'm not going to be worried
I don't have to be freaked out either. So it can really help just ease his mind, just watching how we are acting and reacting to what mom is doing at the time.
And so last but not least, if we can kind of see that dad's having a hard time, Jess mentioned that we'll kind of pull him to the side and talk to him, but sometimes he just needs a break. And that's the great thing about having a doula, is that dad can step out of the room and have a breather if he needs to, because the doula can stay with mom and continue to support her, and that helps put dad at ease too, knowing that he's not the sole support for her.
Because we see a really wide range of dads. We see dads who aren't squeamish, and they're just
all
up
in
in
there.
And they're loving it, and they're rubbing, and they love everything about labor and birth. And then, we see dads who are really the opposite, and all of that is completely fine for however they want to experience birth. So then we get dads who they really don't want to have a responsibility that makes them feel nervous. They don't really want to touch anything. They might want to experience the birth, but they don't want to have to worry about messing something up. And so anywhere in between that, we can help and make them feel better, because a lot of dads, if they feel that way, they might still feel guilty. Like if they're feeling overwhelmed, they might feel guilty and be like, well, I can't step out because my, she's going through this. She's going through this by herself. So having a doula can, can ease his mind and be like, no, it's totally okay. And actually tell him it's actually better if you're feeling overwhelmed and you feel like you want to step out and grab a cup of coffee or just have a breather, go outside, that you can do that, because it's actually a better thing. We can encourage it, because if dad is feeling freaked out but staying, that energy can rub off on mom, and then mom is worrying about dad, and it can make it harder for her to progress. So we can kind of encourage him that really is an okay thing for him to do, and make him feel better about that. So it just, all those pieces working together really help dad feel more comfortable with the birth process, and to actually help out. They found that when you have a doula support and when you take in a class, dads are actually more likely to be hands-on and feel comfortable with the labor process, because even though there's someone else helping, watching us makes them feel like they're not doing something wrong, because they don't want to mess anything up. They want to help, but they don't want to mess anything up as well. So we can encourage, like, that's a great thing, do that, rub her back like that, or step out if you need to, and dads do great.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us this week on the vlog, and we hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, reach out, ask us. We're here for you guys, and we love the opportunity to serve alongside you. So have a great week, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.